Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Shahin Monjezi for those of you who are new to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about just realizations that I've had so far in my life as a 28-year-old man growing up in Western society, and how I've kind of just had to come to these realizations on my own. Realizations just about everything, relationships, career, finance, mindset, like all these things. And yeah, no one really taught me this stuff. So I just want to kind of summarize this stuff for myself. And I also want to share these things with you because, especially for those of you who are like younger, who are like in your maybe late teens or early 20s or something like that, this is stuff that I wish I would have known when I was that age. So yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles, in a suburb of Los Angeles called Palos Verdes. My parents are both immigrants from different countries. My father's from Iran. My mother's from Malaysia. So my father, he opened up his own car dealership. He started his own car dealership here in Los Angeles back in the early 90s. And he met my mom. And my mother is an educated woman. She got a scholarship out of Malaysia. She came and studied here and got her master's in accounting and finance and, had a career as an accountant. So both of my parents are kind of, well off. They met. I had a great childhood growing up. I grew up in a very well-to-do neighborhood, middle class, upper middle class sort of lifestyle, all those things, taekwondo and guitar lessons and a great education, all that stuff. I did feel a little bit different growing up because I grew up with, both my parents were immigrants. So I had a name that was difficult to pronounce, and as far as my religious background went, grew up as a Muslim. So, I was kind of different from the other kids in who I was growing up with, but nonetheless, I still had friends from every different race, ethnicity, background. I had friends who were white and Asian, black and Persian, like whatever. Like, I didn't really see that. It was just more about, are you a cool kid and do I vibe with you? So one of the qualities that for some reason I had when I was growing up is I was really shy. I was just a really shy kid. And that started somewhere around when I was like 6 years old. I think when the first time I went to elementary school, I think my shyness really started kicking in. And it wasn't really something that I was able to curb, like even all the way through to my adult life. And so as a result of that, like, I didn't really put myself on display for certain things. I didn't really share myself. I was always this like really humble kid. Even though I knew I was capable of doing a lot of things, like I always kind of I was shy, and like other kids who were not shy would kind of take the spotlight and they'd run for class president, or they'd do certain things and they'd kind of get more notoriety and recognition than I would usually get because I was just way too shy. I didn't want to go put myself out there in front of people. And I think this was like one of my biggest setbacks and weaknesses in life, but also it became a strength as well because as a result of me being shy, I kind of became I was able to learn how to be with myself more. I think this is one of the most powerful things to do because this is kind of realization number one that I want to share. And that is that your mind must be protected at all costs from other people's beliefs. I didn't really realize that until I was like in college or somewhere around college, where I realized like how important it is to surround yourself with positive people who are going to push you and who basically have abundant beliefs. there's two types of people in the world. There's people that have abundant beliefs, and there's people that have scarcity limiting beliefs. And unfortunately, 99% of people have scarcity limiting beliefs. So it's very difficult to find, well, that's kind of a scarcity belief in itself, but most people that you come across are going to have scarcity beliefs, and that's just a result of programming from the media, from marketing, from our education system. Just there's this sort of mind virus that has been accepted by humanity that there's not enough to go around, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's not true, but most of humanity has accepted it as true, and as a result, now there's 700 million people who are living in poverty. Or I think it's like more than that. It might be I think it's like 2 billion people that don't have access to clean water. Like 850 million people who go to sleep hungry, and who are like 700 million people that suffer from acute hunger, meaning they've been malnourished for a long period of time. Like when you look at the numbers, they're just a lot of people on the planet are suffering, and it's all a result of humanity taking this, accepting this mindset of scarcity. And I think that really needs to be the first thing that's tackled, because that's exactly what it is. It's a mindset. Scarcity is a mindset, and scarcity is a belief. And when you believe in scarcity, you will act in accordance to scarcity, right? You'll pinch every penny, and you won't invest in yourself, and you won't invest in the right things, and you won't create businesses, and you won't serve other people, you won't give to other people. You're going to be very selfish as a result. So I've noticed that Western society has become very selfish. Most people are very selfish. The second realization stemming out of that is that competition is the thief of joy. One of the things that I realized growing up is that, like, there's no point in competing with other people. There's no point in competing in other people, because no one's like you. Like, God made us all different for a reason, and we all have different tendencies, and we all have different, abilities and talents and strengths and perspectives on the world. And, one of the things that you'll hear parents say a lot of the times, they'll kind of, and this is kind of like a really horrible thing to do if you ever decide to become a parent, is like to compare your kid to another kid and say, oh, why can't you be more like Johnny? He gets good grades, or he does this, or he helps his mom around the house, or blah, 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 blah. That's a really bad thing, because you start comparing yourself to other people and other kids and other things like that, and it gets you in this weird competitive mindset. But one of the realizations that I've been having as of late is that competition it doesn't work in life. It's because we're moving more and more to a world, especially with social media, where you can broadcast yourself. That's sort of the tagline of YouTube, is you can broadcast yourself, and you can share yourself in an unfiltered way. And you can be raw, and you can be honest, and you can be vulnerable. And here's the thing, if you're broadcasting yourself to the world, and there's millions and millions and millions of people who have the potential to watch your content and watch what you put out, they can sniff out if you're being authentic or not, right? And if you are being authentic, inevitably a certain percentage of those people that come across your content or come across your video are going to be like, oh, I resonate with this guy, I resonate with or this girl, I resonate with what they're putting out, I resonate with what they're talking about. Oh, he's, maybe you might share the same ethnic background or same religious background, or there's certain things that, you're going through in life that they're going through in life, and you can create a community around you. You know what I mean? So that's the world that we're moving towards. And the people that are going to win are the ones who are more vulnerable with themselves, who are willing to share themselves with other people, who are willing to provide value to other people based off their own life lessons and what they've been through. So get out of this competitive mindset that like you need to act like someone else. Like you don't need to do that. You need to be as authentically you as possible. And you also have to be, stick to the things that you love and stick to the things that you're enthusiastic about, because that's what's going to attract other people to you who will actually like you for you, right? You don't want to pretend to be someone else, because then you're going to be, or you don't want to try to be better than someone else, because you're always going to be second place in that game. You can't be better than someone else. You can only be the best version of yourself. So that's one of the main realizations that I've learned. Another realization that I've learned is that, when it comes to dating and relationships and things of that nature, I see a lot of people that sort of chase relationships, and luckily I haven't been a person that's done this, but I see a lot of people who chase relationships in the hope that that relationship will fill a void that they feel inside of them. And inevitably those relationships become toxic because people don't want to work on themselves, and they think that another person, or getting a partner, a romantic partner, or having that sort of relationship is going to fill the void that they feel within themselves, and it never works. They always kind of realize that at some point in the relationship, after a few months of dating, or even, some people might get married and they might realize like this person's not making me happy. And the realization is like, no one else can make you happy, right? Like, and it's very selfish to like put that burden onto someone else. And I see that a lot of the time with people who are dating and people who want to find a partner. Like, people don't want to make themselves happy, and they end up trying to find another person to make them happy, and it will never work. And it's a very selfish thing to do. And I think that's just a game that you're never going to win in life. Like if you're trying to find someone else to make you happy, like that's not how it works. I think a true healthy relationship is like two happy people who make themselves happy, and they're sharing their happiness with each other, with one another. That's what a true healthy relationship is. So yeah, that's one of the main things that I've realized, and especially when it comes to like more touching on a point of men. One of the weird things that I came across when I was in college is like men who are insecure about themselves and believe that like the more sexual partners that they have kind of raises their social status or something like that. And what I found is like a lot of the guys who like were just chasing sex, like now they might be my age. Some of them impregnated women, or some of them got STDs, and some of them now they kind of, their life, they don't have their freedom anymore. They have a kid, they have to pay the bills, they have to support their family now. But in all honesty, like that's not, I think those things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And I think that's God's way of saying like, you need to slow down. So, these men end up impregnating women, and that's God's way of saying like, you need to slow down and stop being so selfish. And I'm going to teach you that lesson with giving you a kid. And the beautiful part of it is like the people that I have known in the past who like ended up having kids, I see that they have a shift in their aura now that they do have a kid, where compared to before when they were always chasing women and they were always chasing sex, like they were just very selfish. So, but that's one of the realizations that I've had about relationships is like, especially dating, like don't try to be someone that you're not. Don't try to just don't try to be someone that you're not. That's just a general realization that I've had in life. Like, be as authentically you as possible. Own the things that you're enthusiastic about. Like, one of the things that I'm enthusiastic about is like spirituality and manifestation. And yeah, I always felt like I had to hide that part of myself because it wasn't sexy. Like the people are going to think I'm weird, or people are going to think I'm new agey. It's like, who cares? Like, the people that think I'm weird or new agey or like whatever because I like spirituality and I'm enthusiastic about spirituality, and um, I'm into wisdom and like stoicism, and the people who think I'm weird for that, like, they can not be in my life. Well, that's the main realization that I've learned is like, I don't want those people around me. And one of the main realizations I've learned too is the importance of keeping your circle really small. Like, keep your circle small because, like I alluded to earlier in this video, um, a lot of people have negative limiting beliefs. And if you're hanging around people that have negative limiting beliefs, they're and if you're hanging around people who are not on your team and not pushing you to grow, you need to cut them out of your life, plain and simple. Because, like I said, your mind is your most important asset in your life, and protecting your mind is the most important asset in your life. And that goes to another point that I want to make. I don't know what this is now, realization number 4 or something like that. But money, I want to talk about money. I always had, growing up, this kind of scarcity belief around money. I think it stems from the fact that at some point during my childhood, my father's business really took a big hit, and especially during the recession. And now I'm mature enough to see it. I always thought it was the economy or something like that, and it wasn't. It was my father's mindset, and he would talk very negative, and he'd have this really scarcity belief about money. At some point in his life, he started having problems, and he started always saying, I don't have money, I don't have money, money is tight around here, and his business would suffer. So one of the things that I learned about like wealth is that wealth is a state of mind. Poverty is a state of mind. If you feel wealthy, you are wealthy. And if you assume a mental position of wealth, inevitably, your physical circumstances are going to change over a period of time. Now, let's talk about how to spend money and how to invest money. Before, I always spent money on like the worst things. The number one thing that you should invest in, and this is something that Warren Buffett actually said, and you can look this up. Warren Buffett was asked, what's the best investment that you would recommend? And Warren Buffett, considered one of the greatest investors of all time, he's still alive at the time of this recording, he said that generally speaking, investing in anything that upgrades your skills or refines your talents to make you more valuable to the marketplace, that is the greatest investment that you can make. Investing in yourself, investing in your education, investing in anything that upgrades your skills. That's the number one investment that you can make in yourself. This is coming from the number one investor in the world, Warren Buffett, because everyone would think that he would say investing in a blue chip stock is the best investment, or investing in real estate is the best investment. He said, no, investing in yourself and in your mindset and in your skills is the best investment. Why? Because no one can take away skills from you once you learn skills. That is why skills are your number one investment. If you upgrade your skills and your talents, no one can take that away from you. Number one, if they took away all your money, because you have upgraded skills and talents, you can go make more money. That's why it's the best investment. And your skills cannot be taxed. No one can tax your skills. No one can tax you. Everybody knows the government will tax everything, but they cannot tax your skills. If you invest in yourself, you invest in an education course or a mastermind or a mentorship, that's the number one investment. So it's taken me 28 years to actually realize this, because before I would have, like, if someone would have been like, yo, it's like $2,000 to learn this, there's a course on learning how to do sales or something like that, I would have been like, oh, that's a ripoff. No, I can just learn it on YouTube for free, or I could read a book or whatever. But that's kind of the wrong mindset to have. But I would never have read the books or like learned the things on YouTube. Like the perspective of like, oh, okay, there's a program, or there's a mastermind where like people are actually going in depth on these conversations, on these topics. That's where I need to be. That's where I need to invest my money. I need to learn sales. I need to learn marketing. I need to learn writing and public speaking and all the things that are actually going to make me more valuable to the marketplace. And that's another thing I want to talk about too, because I want to talk about entrepreneurship. Because one of the things that I'm realizing now, and it's taken me kind of this long to realize this, is that your focus in your 20s, and I didn't have this. I used to think that I want an easy life, right? When I was in college, I was like, oh yeah, like now you can just do business online, and like you can create a YouTube channel, and you can broadcast yourself, and you can do all these things, and like you can have an easy life. You can work remotely from anywhere in the world. And there's kind of like these books like the 4-Hour Work Week that like make it seem so simple, of like, you can have an easy life now. You don't have to work a 9-to-5 job. And I always thought like the purpose of life is like to like have it as easy as possible. And now I see that that was one of the most damaging beliefs that I could have had in my 20s, because the purpose of life is not about having an easy life. The purpose of life is about upgrading your skills. It's about upgrading your mindset. And ultimately, the purpose of life is about service of other people. And the only way that you're going to serve other people is by improving yourself and getting better. So actually, the mindset that I would pass on to 18-year-old me, if I could go back and I could talk to 18-year-old me, I would have told 18-year-old version of Shahin, collect as many skills as possible. Collect as many skills as possible. I used to laugh at people who would like take telemarketer jobs or door-to-door sales jobs. I don't even know if door-to-door sales is a thing anymore. It might be. But so I'd be like, that's so dumb. Like, why would you do door-to-door sales? Like, no one wants you. You're soliciting. Like, that's a horrible thing to do. But a few months ago, I was at a family friend party, and I met this 21-year-old kid who was like graduating from college. And this kid was just so well-spoken and so sharp. And I started talking to him, and he was like, yeah, like, I got into sales like when I was 17 or 16, or he's like, I think he said he got his first job when he was 16. And he said it was a door-to-door sales job for solar. He was selling solar. And he would literally just go drive to a neighborhood and just knock on doors, and he'd be like, hey, do you guys want solar? And he'd say like a lot of people would just curse him, and they'd be like, yo, get off my property, get off my lawn, like there's no soliciting here. But he told me that the best feeling in the world was when someone was actually interested, and someone was actually grateful that he'd approached the house, and someone was actually like, oh yeah, I've actually been thinking about getting solar. And he'd land a sale, and he's like, the biggest paycheck that I ever got was like in 1 week I sold, signed 3, 4, or 5 people up, and I made a few $1,000s as a 16-year-old. And he's like, my mind just kind of like exploded. And he said that was the best job that I could have had, because it taught me how to put myself out there. It taught me how to deal with rejection. And it taught me to be confident in myself. And he said it taught me that, making sales is a numbers game. It's about how many approaches can you put in? How many losses can you get? I have a similar friend. His name's Zach Riddle. He's doing this tour around the country where he's selling 50 shirts, 50 limited edition shirts in the 50 states of the United States. He can't leave the state that he's in until he sells 50 shirts in each state. And he told me that in order to get the 50 sales, he will typically have to get 2,000 no's. 2,000 people will have to tell him no, they don't want the shirt in order for him to sell the 50 shirts. So his game was always, how do I get those 2,000 no's as fast as possible? So he has that skill now of like not being afraid to get rejected. So he has that skill. And those skills translate into all other areas of life, whether it be dating, whether it be business, you name it. Like that ability to be able to go up to someone and be like, hey, I have gold here. I have something to sell. And to educate them about that and get that no. Most people are going to say no. And to be fine after that and say, okay, cool. And then to go to the next person, right? That skill is so valuable. And I wish, if I could go back to my 18-year-old self, I would say, go learn that skill. Go learn that skill. Go learn how to deal with rejection and to continue persisting anyways. Because I know a lot of people nowadays want to be entrepreneurs, and the one skill that you have to have if you want to be an entrepreneur is you have to know how to sell, right? Because you're going to create a product. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to create a product, and that product, you have to sell it. You have to sell it. And here's the other thing on that. This is the other point on this. Self-belief is the greatest asset in life. Believing in yourself is the greatest asset you can have in your life. This is something that I didn't have when I was in my late teens, in my 20s, pretty much my whole life. I didn't have self-belief. And especially when it came to my music, because I make music and now I'm getting in a space where I share my music more. And before, if someone would be like, yo, can you play some music? I would be like shy about it. I didn't want to play music. Or if I recorded music, they'd be like, yo, let me listen to your music. And I'd kind of be like shy about it again. And I really wouldn't want to show them. And you're never going to win in life if you don't believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in what you make, and you don't believe in your products, and you don't believe in what you're selling, you're never going to get anywhere in life. Plain and simple. And being shy doesn't get anywhere. Okay? This is realizations that I'm having at this point in my life, at the age of 28. Like, if I make now at this point, like if I make something, I have to be willing to like share it with everyone. I have to be willing to talk about it with everyone. And here's another point about networking, because networking is so important. Like when you get into a room, tell people what you're most enthusiastic about. Like if you have a business, if you have something that you're like selling, or if you have music that you want to be an artist, you made something, like share that with people, tell people about it. And you have to be the one, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you have your own business, or you made your own product, or you have music, or you have art. Like you have to be so passionate about what you're talking about, where the person at the other end of that conversation feels your energy, feels your passion about what you're talking about, that they want to know more. But if you're all nonchalant, and this is something that I did through most of my 20s, if you're like nonchalant about like, oh, like you made a song or something, like for me, I would make music. I'd make a song, and then people would be like, yo, like let me hear your song, and I'd be like, oh, it's not that good, but I'll play it for you later. Like then people are going to be like, I don't want to listen to your song anymore. You don't even like your song. Why would I listen to it? You know what I mean? So, and I would meet people like that. I'd meet people like that. Now that I'm in a space of like, I made this. This is the greatest thing ever. I want to share it with you. I look back at that and I'm just like, I can't believe I was like that before. But it ultimately stems from a lack of self-confidence. And like I said, self-confidence is like that. I think one of the greatest. We're talking about how sales is a great skill to have as an entrepreneur, but like self-confidence is probably the greatest skill. Self-belief is probably the greatest skill. To have self-belief, regardless of like what other people say or think about you. So sales is kind of like a great skill to have, or a skill that, or a great practice that develops your self-belief. Because the greatest salespeople are people that believe in themselves and they believe in their sales skills and they believe in what they're selling. And I had the privilege of selling cars for like 3 or 4 years at my dad's car dealership. And like at a certain point, I had the realization, like, it's a numbers game. Not everyone's your customer. Not everyone's going to buy from you. But you have to be confident. You got to be confident in what you're selling. You got to be confident in yourself. You got to be confident in how you answer questions. You have to speak with a conviction. So, again, and for any like young men out there who are watching, I would say like go get a sales job. Go get a door-to-door sales job. Or, go work at a car dealership or something like that, to develop those skills. That's, of course, if you want to develop those skills. Because at the end of the day, if you want to take full ownership of your life, you're going to have to start your own business. You're going to have to do something in that realm. And you're going to need to learn how to sell. Investing in yourself is the greatest investment that you can make. So for those of you who right now, if you're like working a job, like a dead-end job, like maybe you're just driving Uber or something like that, or you're working at a 9 to 5 where you're getting like the same pay rate, you're working at like a retail store or something like that, and you're just getting a set paycheck every month, like, realize that you're not going to progress and earn more money unless you invest in yourself and invest in your skills. Okay? So take your paycheck and instead of going to the club and blowing all your money on bottle service or spending $70 on buying like 3 drinks, I think now, like, if you go out in Los Angeles where I live, like if you go buy a drink in Los Angeles, like it's like $25 for the drink. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, that $25 or that, you buy 2-3 drinks, it's like $75. You spend $100 in a night. It's like, dude, you could have put that $100 into like investing in learning something on Coursera or Udemy or something that's going to help you in your online business, learning how to do copywriting or learning how to do video editing or whatever. So put your money into your skills, okay? Upgrade yourself, and that's the greatest investment that you can make. I think I'm finished talking on that point. So let's see. I covered relationships. I covered skills, upgrading your skills. And the main point I want to finish on with that is like, stop looking for the easy path. Get out of this 4-hour work week, Tim Ferriss sort of mindset. Because like I said, life is not about taking the easy path. Life is about serving other people. This is the big realization that I'm having at this point in my life. And it's taken me sort of 28 years to really come to this realization. I was going over statistics before. About 800 million people in the world are illiterate. They don't have an education. 2 billion people in the world don't have access to clean water. I think like 750 to 800 million people are going to bed every night hungry, and a lot of them are are suffering from famine, right? They're malnourished, they're undernourished. So like, there's a lot of work to do in the world, right? And there's a lot of people who are worse off than you. Like if you look at the numbers, like if you grew up in America, you are like in the top 5% of the world, no matter what your like status is. You know, even if you're like on the poorer side of poverty in America. I think I have to wrap up this video because my camera has already turned off twice. There are just so many ideas that I want to share with you guys that about realizations that I've had, and I'll probably have to make this a multiple series video because there's just like while I was waiting for the camera battery to charge, I was just like, gosh, I have so many ideas now. But yeah, I mean, the main points for this video is like, stop trying to take the easy route in life. That's number one, because it's not about the destination. When I got into manifestation, and that's kind of what this channel has become known for, I thought it was like, okay, you just keep the end in mind and it's all about the end. It's all about the destination. And what I realized is like, whenever I would get something that I'd manifest, it would be like, okay, I got it. And then I'd be like, well, now what? Right? And what I realized was that it's not about getting to the destination. It's about who you become on your journey to the destination. The destination is just sort of something, a direction to head towards in your life. And I think it's very important. You need to have a destination. You need to have something to shoot for. You need to have a goal. But it's not about the goal. And I've heard so many people who are millionaires, even billionaires, and they said like, when I made my first million, I was like, okay, like I made it. Now what? Now I need to figure out the next thing. What's the next thing that's going to keep me busy? What's going to keep me going? And I think as long as you're here on the planet, like, you need to continually keep setting goals for yourself. And you have to realize that it's really not about the destination. It's about who you become and the person that you become. That's what life's about. And like I said before, the biggest realization that I've had is that being selfish doesn't get you anywhere in life. If you bless other people, God will bless you. You will become blessed. So focus your life on, here's just a big one, but focus your life on blessing other people and serving other people. I think that is the purpose of life. I think the purpose of life is to figure out an ideal of what you believe the world should be like in your mind. Like if you were to paint a picture of what heaven is in your mind, what does that look like? How do people treat one another? And now, once you kind of paint that picture, like, you need to embody that. You need to embody your version of heaven, and you need to treat other people how you would want to be treated in heaven, right? So you need to serve other people. And like I said, the reality is, like, we're living in a world where there's a bunch of people who are homeless and starving and thirsty and uneducated. And there's a lot of work to do on this planet, and you're on the planet. You're sharing the same space with these people. So serve other people. I think that's the purpose of life. You're here to serve other people. You're here to make this world more ideal, more abundant. You're here to share abundant values and ideals with other people. You're here to serve other people. You're here to become more valuable and just serve. So that's what I believe life is about. And that's the thing about money. Like, money, I think, is like the biggest trap, because people are just chasing money left and right. And I think you should never do anything just to get money in and of itself. Like, money is just a spiritual energy. And like, it's crazy. Like, probably if you've been on YouTube, you're probably getting bombarded with a bunch of people who are like, I made $50,000 doing drop shipping, and I did $20,000 doing affiliate marketing, and I did $10,000 a month doing this bookkeeping business or whatever. And it's like, they reel you in and hook you in with numbers and flash and like bling bling and fast cars and all this stuff. And they're just doing it so that they can make money for themselves. That's not always the case. I don't want to say that's always the case. Like, sometimes Okay, I kind of want to retract that. I want to go back because like I said, like it's not that's not it's not always bad. Like some people are literally they are showing you ways that you can make money, but don't just do something just for money in itself. Like that's what I realized is like you think Picasso only did things for money? Do you think that Michelangelo only did things for money? I mean, he did get commissioned to do art pieces and stuff like that, but like, do you think Gandhi did things just for money, or do you think Mother Teresa did things just for money, like, or Muhammad Ali only did things like boxed for money? Like, no. You need to find something that you love and that you're enthusiastic about, that you're passionate about, and figure out a way to use what you love and what you're enthusiastic about to serve other people. There has to be some level of service in what you do. If there's no level of service, if it's all selfishness, you're not going to be happy. And there's another point on gratitude that I want to make. I think that if you're not grateful for what you already have, then you're not going to get more of that thing. Because God's going to be like, why would I give you more if you're not already grateful for what you have? And I've learned that gratitude really is like the most important thing in life. So I'm going to wrap this video up, guys. And on that note, I want to make an announcement that I have sort of did a mini launch on a community, and I'll leave the link in the description. And the community is going to be free, and eventually I might create like paid plans where there's like more offers and stuff like that. But like as of right now, like it's completely free. I'll always have a free plan. And like if you're getting in right now, I'll probably just always keep this community free for you, because I just want people to come in so that we can actually like upgrade ourselves, and like I can serve other people who are interested in being helped and served, and we can actually create a community. So there's going to be a community where we're all centered around accountability and support regarding gratitude and manifestation and leveling up our skills and just leveling up ourselves in life. And starting on September 1st, I want to do a 28-day challenge based off the book The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, which is a book about practicing gratitude on a daily basis in your life. The first time that I actually went through that book, I didn't go all the way through the first 28 days. I think I did like 18 days. And the things that were happening within those 18 days were remarkable. I was booking gigs as a musician left and right, getting notoriety, getting recognition. I was working at my dad's car dealership. I was selling the most expensive cars in my dad's car dealership. My customers and clients were like super grateful for me and happy for me, and I built like these really great relationships. And I stopped doing the practices at a certain point. So this time around, I want to do the book again. I want to do the 28-day challenge, and I'm inviting you to come into the community. Like I said, it's completely free, and we're going to go through this 28-day challenge together for practicing gratitude. And I really welcome you guys to come in so that we can all kind of get up on this upward spiral of life. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you got any gold from this video, please like this video, share it with someone, comment down in the comment section if anything resonated with you, or if you have a question about something. Please, just like, this is an open community and forum for all of us to just better ourselves and improve ourselves and upgrade our skills and serve one another. Thank you so much again. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.